everyone. I'm glad to see so many of you came. I didn't expect so many to come. Baruch Hashem. I will speak a little bit about the parasha and then other things as usual. We finished last parasha, Beshalach, and then we're going into Yitro. The end of the parasha was the test that HaKadosh Baruch Hu put for the nation of Israel, which is the test of the parnasa. To make a living. The test of the parnasa, it's not like how people think that only the poor people have a test of a parnasa. The ones who have many millions, they don't have a test of a parnasa. The people who hardly pay the bills, those are the ones who Hashem tests on a parnasa. But the people who have plenty of money, like somebody is very extra wealthy, he has enough to live for 50 years without working. So what's the test of the parnasa for him? He's not worried about not having food or paying his bills. That's what everyone thinks. But we saw in the 40 years of the midbar, of the desert, 40 years, the test of the parnasa was for everyone. Hashem gave the man, and people had to pick up X amount, and that's it, not too much. And if they kept for tomorrow, it already became stale, full of worms. And then on Friday there was double amount, which is for Shabbat, double amount. And there were still people who went, remember, this is people who saw the exodus of Egypt. They saw the ocean split. They saw the water is standing like a wall of ice. They saw so many miracles in Egypt. These are the people that went on Shabbat to look for the man on Shabbat morning. After Hashem said, Shabbat you won't have it, Friday I'm giving you double. So they got the double on Friday, and they still went on Shabbat to pick up the man. What do you see from here? They had enough for Shabbat. Why they went on Shabbat to get more? Because this is the nature of a person, greed. A person is never full of what Hashem gives him, never. That's why the test of the parnasa is even to the richest person in the world. If he's not working on his greed and fighting with his evil inclination and his desire for money, no matter how much money he makes, he's actually becoming hungrier. And when things doesn't work, which means instead of making $100 million, he only made 85, he doesn't sleep at night. Now you look at me like it sounds like a joke, but I'm telling you this is exactly how it works. If the people go down a little bit on their parnasa, even though they make fortune, right away they make an investigation, they audit the employees, they check, they put detectives, accountants, they check everywhere, they make all kinds of committees. Why? They go crazy. Why? Because the parnasa went down a little bit. So the test of the parnasa is not necessarily if you have enough to eat. That's something else. That's called confidence in Hashem. That Hashem will provide you with everything you need, not only food, clothing, place to sleep, everything you need, health, oxygen, water, everything you need. It's not only food. So Hashem said, 6 yamim pilketeu, 6 days you collect the man. And the 7th day, he won't be there. ויהי ביום השביעי יצאו מן העם ללקוט. Some of the nation went to look for it. So what was the answer of Hashem for that? Listen good. Hashem said, we sometimes read it, but we don't understand what we read. ויאמר השם אל משה, Hashem said to Moshe, עד אנה מאנתם לשמור מצוותיי ותורותיי? Until when you will refuse to keep my Torah and my mitzvot? What Torah and mitzvot? There's no Torah and mitzvot yet. Soon, it's Parashat Yitro, we'll get the Torah. This is even before. What Torah and mitzvot? Until when you're going to be ungrateful? Until when you're not going to listen to me? That's fine. But what does it mean? Until when you're not going to keep my Torah and mitzvot? So Torah means instructions. Any divine instruction, it's Torah. Comes from the word orah in Hebrew, Torah. And mitzvot, even a temporary mitzvah, it's mitzvah. Mitzvah means metzaveh, ordering. If Hashem said, Shabbat, don't go and collect the man, that's a mitzvah. It's not a mitzvah that will stay forever, like Shabbat and Tefillin, but it's a temporary mitzvah. Right now, in the desert, for this period of time, for this generation only, right? You're not going to collect the man on the 7th day. That's it. By the way, you should know Shabbat was given before Matan Torah. Shabbat, they already nitztavu al Shabbat, they already have Shabbat before they received the Torah. So they knew some mitzvot they got before they received the Torah. Not a lot before, but still before. So it means Hashem gave the Torah. This is when Hashem gave Shabbat. He came to Moshe and he said, I have a special treasure, a gift, that it's in my safe, my treasure. That show you how important is Shabbat. It's not just another mitzvah. It's the foundation of everything. It's the covenant, the eternal covenant between the Jewish nation and Hashem. That's why I almost in every one of my lectures in the past, I always repeat what some people don't like to hear, because the truth hurts. That a Jew that does not observe the Sabbath, even today, if he is aware of something like that called Judaism, he's aware of something like that called Torah, he's aware of religion, of religious people, he's aware of the word Shabbat, that Jews are not doing certain things on Shabbat, even if he doesn't know 90% of what needs to be done. He's just aware of the concept, just because he grew up in New York and in Israel and in Europe, and there's a lot of religious people around him, even though nobody ever told him to keep Shabbat. But he understands that there is something that a part of his nation is keeping, and he ignores it, and he doesn't keep Shabbat. Somebody like that is considered in Jewish law a total goy. It's not a Jew. He thinks he's Jewish because his name is Yosef or Yitzchak. But in Shamayim is considered Ahmed or Mustafa. That's when Hashem looks at him. And only one difference between him and Mustafa. If Mustafa comes and wants to start keeping Shabbat, just because he loves it, I have many goyim like this. They're keeping Shabbat, many goyim, keeping Shabbat according to the halakha, even though they're goyim. I have to convince them to do at least one sin on Shabbat, to turn the light on, because the goy is not allowed to keep Shabbat fully. Wants to keep 99%, that's not considered keeping. Same thing a Jew told me, I'm keeping Shabbat, I only pick up the phone on emergency. One emergency, that something in his business maybe happened. You know, maybe the big customer didn't show up. What emergency you have? So when he has an emergency, he picks up the phone. So I told him, my friend, you're Mechalel Shabbat. You cannot be a part of a minyan. You keep 95%, 90%, 70%, 99%. You're doing one transaction on purpose on Shabbat. Occasionally, you are Mechalel Shabbat. You are the goy that the Torah spoke about. But I don't drive the car. I don't go to work. I don't turn the lights on. I don't smoke on Shabbat. I do so many things. You get a reward for it. You make less sin, so obviously you get less punishment. But you, in a status in Halacha, can we call you a kosher Jew? The answer is no. You're not a kosher Jew. You're not a Shomer Shabbos. Remember, it's very interesting. When they come to evaluate a Jew, they don't ask if he's a thief or not, if he's a murderer or not. It's always go by two things. Mechalel Shabbat v'oved avodat kochavim, right? Areu kigoy. It always go together. It's like a husband and wife. Mechalel Shabbos and someone who worship idols. Someone who bow down to idols or worship JC or anything like that. Somebody like that is considered in halacha just like someone who's Mechalel Shabbat. Both of them always go together. Read in the Rambam. Mechalel Shabbat v'faresya v'oved avodat kochavim always go together. And מקבלים מהם korban. You cannot accept a sacrifice from them. Cannot accept. Or if they want to be a part of the... אינם מצטרפים לשום דבר שבקדושה. They cannot participate in any Jewish holy ceremony. They can participate as extra, but one of the 10 you don't consider them, the same way you don't consider the Arab or the Christian or the Chinese. You don't consider them as part of the minyan. You don't consider this Jew, because in the eyes of Hashem, he's not a Jew. To be a Jew doesn't mean that your mother belongs to the Jewish nation. It's only the count on one thing. Do you keep the mitzvot or not? To be a Jew, when a person wants to convert. If a goy comes and says, I love the Jewish people, I love God, I believe in God, I want to be called Jewish. I don't want to be an Arab anymore. I don't want to be an American. I want to be a Jewish person. What's the condition? He has to accept all the mitzvot. If this guy says, I'll keep everything, just it's hard for me not to smoke on Shabbat. It's very hard for me. I cannot smoke. Everything I'll do. I won't drive, I close my business, I'll do. In the end, just 1 or 2 cigarettes I will smoke. Are we allowed to convert him? We're not allowed to convert him. And if we converted him, we circumcised him, we put him in a mikveh, he came out of the mikveh, he put yarmulke and tzitzit, he's still a goy. Why? Because Hashem didn't send him the Jewish neshama, the spark. Hashem did not send him the neshama that he needs. Why? Because Hashem knows that this goy did not accept fully the Torah and the mitzvot. But remember, if a person is a thief, someone like Madoff, Shomer Shabbat, he wants to come and be a part of the 10. And then a beautiful American Jew or Israeli Jew that never steal, speak nice, friendly, have no enemies, people respect them, but they don't keep Shabbat. Drive the car or smoke or talk on the phone or smoke or whatever, but they don't steal. Now you ask any normal human being, who's better, Madoff or him? They'll think you're out of your mind. Say, what, you're crazy? How are you asking me such a question? The whole world hates this guy. $150 billion he stole, he knocked down thousands of families, yeshivot, institutions, stole so much money, made thousands of people miserable, lost their life savings, and you're comparing him to this guy because he smokes a cigarette or talks on the phone on Shabbat? Right? It's not realistic. It's very realistic. Our reality is crooked because we were born and raised into a phony environment, into a phony life. Everything in this world, it's fake. It's not real. If the world was 100% according to the Torah, we wouldn't even have a doubt. So of course it's worse by violating Shabbat. What's the question? You're comparing this and this? No thief in a history got stoned by death and karet and lost his share to the world to come. Nowhere in the Torah it says that he cannot be a part of the minyan. Nowhere in the Torah it says that a thief is not a Jew. Even a murderer is still a Jew. But Mechalel Shabbat is not a Jew. You understand how much we have to put everything we can to save our relatives, friends, brothers, neighbors? It's not a joke. These people are they're standing in front of an eternal destruction. Just because they are not aware of what poison they're eating doesn't mean it won't kill them. If you don't know what you eat, does that change reality? Oh, I don't feel good. Why? I don't know why. You're drinking poison or you're eating poison, and after a while you die. Oh, but I didn't know. I'm not guilty. You're not guilty, but you're dead. The answer is, you are guilty. Why you are guilty? Before you put something in your mouth, you have to be careful. If you eat pineapple or peach or watermelon, nothing can go wrong. If you eat meat, nothing can go wrong. Don't let them fool you. Cholesterol, this, you eat too much meat, you'll die. Nothing can go wrong. Why? Maybe today it's a different story because they put all kinds of chemicals in their cows. But naturally, meat is very healthy. Why? Hashem said to eat it. If it wasn't healthy, He wouldn't tell us to eat. Of course, everything even healthy, you eat too much. You eat 50 oranges a day. Vitamin C too much, it's going to mess up your body. Everybody understands that. But the body is designed in such a way that the body rejects too much from something. You feel already, I'm tired of this taste. Why? Because if you love it forever, what would happen? You eat and eat and eat and eat, and it will mess up the body. So the body actually is desiring what you really need. So the idea is that all the things that Hashem say to us, for us to eat, for sure it's good. It's not bad. If you eat in a normal size and you're not exaggerating, for sure it's good. But the Gemara say, lo ha'arod memit, achet memit. The Gemara say there used to be like a snake that is under the ground. He's hiding under the ground. And then when someone comes, he comes quietly. He beat him on his ankle. And now it's something very interesting. Normally every snake will beat a person. If it's a poison snake, Some people will die in an hour, some people in 3 hours. But it depends if you can get them to a treatment or something like that. But in general, it's a life risk. Over here, it's also a life risk, but it's a spiritual life risk. Very interesting. We don't know where these animals are. The nature change. Many of the animals that the Torah speaks about do not exist anymore, or the Talmud. But this arod, from the minute he beat you, he begins a chase between you and him. Who is going to get into the water first? It's a inyan sguli. It's not. You cannot explain it in a human logic. What does it say? It says whoever is gonna get to the water first would live. If you get to the water before this snake, before this arod, you would live and he will die. If he will get to the water first before you, he would live and you would die. So the Rabbi Hanina ben Dosa was a very big tzaddik, also was very poor. The Gemara say, Hashem said, Kol ha'olam nizon b'shvin Hanina bni. The whole world is eating thanks to the good energy, the mitzvot of my son Hanina. And he, from all the wealth he supplied to the world, he's a pipe. Shvil means a pipe, a way. Shvil, b'shvil Hanina bni. B'shvil that he makes between the earth to the sky. That's where I send all the wealth to the world. So he eats carobs from Friday to Friday. Only on Shabbat he eats normal, but the rest of the week he eats carobs and drink water. That's it. And the whole world is living thanks to him, but he eats the hardest thing to eat. It's like a rock to eat. These carobs is like a vegetables with seeds inside. It's very hard. We eat it usually in Tu B'Shvat. Nobody eats it anymore. It's not so tasty anyway. It's very hard. And today it's also full of worms. So one way or the other, Hanina ben Dosa wanted to teach the people a message. So he went with his ankle and he put it by the hole of the snake, of this arod. And everyone said, what are you doing? He said, Lo arod memit, achet memit. He said, everyone think bad animals killing, people are killing, accidents are killing, falling from a building is killing, eating poison it's killing. It's all true, it's nature. But nobody dies unless if Hashem wants him to die. That's what Rabbi Hanina ben Dosa wanted to teach them. So he put his ankle there, and the snake bit him, and the snake died, and he didn't die. Why? Because he was 100% tzaddik. He didn't have any sins. We are not in this level because we have so many sins. When you have so many sins, you have to worry, you have to take medicine, you have to go to work, you have to kill yourself certain things. But if you were clean with sins, you didn't have to put all these efforts. So the Torah says like this: 900 years after the man. 900 years after the man was falling in heaven, from heaven, Hashem said to Moshe to put some man in a jar, fill up a jar with this man. Lemishmeret. What? Souvenir. Keep it. Why? לדורותיכם, for the generations to come. למען יראו את הלחם אשר האכלתי אתכם במדבר והוציאי אתכם מארץ מצרים. I want the future generation to see that it wasn't a fairy tale. Let them see in their own eyes this tzintzenet man, this jar of man. 900 years later, Prophet Yirmiyahu, in his speech to the nation, was holding the tzintzenet man. Where is it today? We don't know. Maybe some family has it, maybe it's gone, we don't know. But it's, at least we know that for 900 years after, the Jewish nation still have that tzintzenet man. After that, the problems with water started. Yeah, the problem started with water. What do they say to Moshe? If somebody asks you, when is the only place in the Torah that the nation of Israel spoke in a sarcastic way? It's over here. What did they say? מבלי אין קברים במצרים, העלתנו למות במדבר. There's not enough graves or cemeteries in Egypt that you needed to bring us to an open space, to the desert, to die here. Wasn't enough cemetery over there? That's what they ask. Well, at least in 40 years they spoke once sarcastically. Today you hear it every 2 minutes. Usually when people speak with sarcasm, it comes from pride, ego. It's a combination of ego, anger. ויצעק Moshe el Hashem, what am I going to do to this nation, he said. Soon they're going to stone me. They complain. So what happened over here? Listen good now what happened here. Hashem say to him, take your stick with you. And I'm going to show you the rock where you're going to hit. That's, by the way, one of the reasons why Moshe, there's 5 reasons why Moshe Rabbeinu did not enter the land. The idea with this rock, there was no water. What's the idea? What was the idea with this rock? That Datan and Aviram and all the group of the wicked people, they say to Moshe, we don't water from the rock you chose. We don't want water from there. We want you to show us that you can give us water from a different rock. You say that Hashem is giving the water in a miracle, right? So if you can do that, you can do it from any rock. What's the difference? No? If you're a magician, come and say to you, here, put this in his cup. Put this, and I'm going to get a rabbit out. Put the handkerchief, and he gets a rabbit. So you tell him, okay, do it from this cup. Put this cup away, do it in this cup. Why are you thinking maybe this cup has a trick in it? So you give him a different one. If he's a good magician, say, no problem, give me any cup you want. Then the magic looks very good. But if you say, no, I want to do it from this cup, right away the magic is worthless. Because everybody understands that the magic is the cup, it's not really the trick. Something to do here. So they think there's something with this rock. Moshe is a shepherd, he knows every rock here. Maybe there's a spring underneath. As soon as he's going to move the rock a little bit, water's going to start coming out. That's what they're thinking. So Moshe is thinking, if I'm going to listen to them, I'm not listening to Hashem, because Hashem told me get it from this rock. But if I will ignore them, what's the point of this whole magic? Anyway, they already made everyone cold. No one will be impressed. So I want everyone to be impressed from Hashem, not just to say, Moshe got us water because he knows where the water under the ground. So he said, okay, I'm going to give you the water from where you chose. So when he came to the rock and he spoke to the rock, there was an X amount of time, 10 seconds, 30 seconds, 1 minute. The water did not come out. When he hit, few drops came, he hit again, then everything exploded. So the idea was, what did Moshe do wrong? If you say, Hashem told him, go from this rock, Moshe had good intention. It's not a wicked person. It's not someone, Hashem tell him, put tefillin, and he doesn't put tefillin. That's called karkafta de lo manichat tefillin, nikra poshea Israel. He's a criminal. And of Jewish nation, he doesn't put tefillin every day. Hashem called him a criminal. Chalel Shabbat is a criminal. A murderer is a criminal. A thief is a criminal. But Moshe, what sin did he do that he would not enter the Holy Land, that he wished for it for all his life, for that moment, just because he wanted to make the name of Hashem more impressive? If I would be Hashem, I'll give him a double reward. Why? Even though what you did is against what I told you, but since your intention was to make me more valuable in the eyes of my children, you wanted to do more for me, not less, I'll give you even more. Why? Because I know you meant well. That's the way I think. But Hashem did not agree. He got very angry at him. In the end, water came. Hashem brought him the water from where he chose. But Moshe got punished. Why? From here we learn the sin of Chilul Hashem. You know Chilul Hashem? The 1 minute or half a minute that everyone over there was standing and laughing, like water is not coming. Datan and Aviram and all the wicked people pointing at Moshe, and he's standing over there and water is not coming. Even though later water came out, which became a Kiddush Hashem. So there was 1 minute Chilul Hashem, and 5 hours of Kiddush Hashem. The water is keep coming out, everyone drinking. It's not enough. The 1 minute Chilul Hashem, it's already so horrible that there's really no tolerance for such thing, Chilul Hashem. And that's, by the way, one of the 3 worst sins in the Torah. In the book of Reshit Chochmah, there is a chapter describe hell. Gehenom is describing what's happening in hell. So he said that in hell there's 7 different sections. The lowest one, it's called Tachtit Haaretz, or Eretz Tachtit. Same thing. The bottom of the land, the bottom of the earth, all the way in the bottom. It's 7 different departments, one below the other. And 3 over there, 3 are the sinners who go there. The Torah says never comes out of there forever, for eternity. Never. What is this? One of them Mechalel Shabbat, one of them wasting seeds on purpose, and one of them is Chilul Hashem. 3 sins. 3 sins go to the Mador Shvi, the worst, the lowest part. From here we learn how horrible is Chilul Hashem. So Baruch Hashem, Moshe did not go there, did not go to hell, because the Torah said that when Hashem opened the gate of hell and he showed Moshe Rabbeinu what's happening there, he almost got a heart attack. He started to shake, almost fainted. So Hashem, and the Gemara says, until Hashem told him, relax, you will not go there, he did not relax. Moshe Rabbeinu, that gave his life for Hashem, didn't make any sin in his life, right? We count the 5 things that he had, none of them is considered a sin. None of them. He called them Shimuna Amorim. Of course they were Morim. They were Mored Be'Hashem. He didn't say the truth. But for his level, it doesn't sound good. When he hit the rock, or when he went to a different rock, he meant well. It's not somebody who comes on purpose to sin against Hashem, like we do sometimes. But we can see that he was worried. What's gonna be with me? And what happened in the end? Hashem assured him that he won't go there. Now, something else. Yitro. Imagine today, Rav Eliashiv or Rav Steinman or Rav Ovadia has a son, and they're offering this son a shidduch. Who is the shidduch? The daughter of the Pope from the Vatican. Christine, the daughter of the Pope, this German Pope. So they're offering the son of Rav Eliashiv or the son of Rav Ovadia or any one of them, they're offering him a shidduch, the daughter of the Pope. That would be the biggest insult, no? You're normal, what is this? Why I'm saying this? Moshe was the son of Amram. Who was Amram? Amram is one of the 4 people, the only 4 people in history who never committed even one sin. Never. The Torah says if not the sin with the snake, they will never die. Because now it's a decree that people have to die. But without that decree, they would live forever. Because the sin makes people die younger or shorten their life. But if someone would never make a sin, before the sin of Adam, we would live forever. There's no point of dying. You live, you do good, why not to keep you here? It's very interesting. So Amram was one of them. Binyamin, the son of Yaakov Avinu, is another one. Ishai, the father of David HaMelech, King David, and Kilav, the son of David HaMelech. So the Gemara picked up 4 names from hundreds of thousands of names of tzaddikim. Among them Avraham Avinu, Yaakov Avinu, Yosef HaTzadik, so many names. Those 4 never made a sin. Apparently everybody else did, or even a tiny sin, or something that looks like a sin. But those 4 are totally clean. So Moshe is the son of Amram, the most important Jew. When Amram divorced his wife because of the decree of Paro, he did not touch his wife, his daughter Miriam gave her first prophecy. She told him, your decree is worse than the decree of Paro. Paro decreed the boys. You, everybody else saw that you, the leader of the generation, you're not touching your wife. Everybody else don't touch their wives. So now no boys are born and no girls are born. Paro only did for the boys. Now there's no boys, no girls because of you. Nobody gives birth. So he realized she's right, and he changed his mind. But we see that he was the top of the generation. So his son Moshe, he has Moshe, Aaron, and Miriam, 3 prophets. And now Moshe is going to Midian, Yitro Kohen Midian. He meets Tzipora over there, and Yitro offering him Tzipora. So imagine now a Jew escaped from Yerushalayim, and he ended up in Rome. And now they're calling him, and he see the Pope. The Pope comes and says, oh, you're a nice man. Thank you for helping my daughter. She got stuck with a car. Thank you for helping her. Okay, how about marrying her? Here, Christine, beautiful girl. She's the daughter of an important person. Yitro was the master of Avodah Zarah, of every Avodah Zarah, the #1 in the world, a specialist for idols worshipping. Moshe Rabbeinu is going to marry his daughter. Sounds amazing, no? Did you ever think about it that way? But it gets even better. The deal that Yitro makes with Moshe wasn't so simple. What? Yitro said to Moshe, if you want me to agree that you marry my daughter Tzipora, if you want me to agree, you have to promise me that your first son will go with me to the church to worship my idols. He's coming with me, your first son. Everyone after that is yours. So Moshe said, okay, agree. That's what happened. Why Moshe said okay? Why Moshe agreed to marry the daughter of the Komer of Avodah Zarah? Couldn't find a better shidduch? Why Moshe agreed that his first son, according to the plan, will go to the church to be a priest? How did he agree such thing? The answer is, now we hear from here we learn something very important. Moshe saw that this man Yitro is searching for the truth. The level of being a searcher, someone who searches for the truth, don't take it for granted. Most people don't have it. In my opinion, 1 out of 100 people in the world has it. The other 99 don't care about the truth. Yitro was always busy searching for the truth, which means every 2-3 weeks he was going to another Avodah Zarah, to a different idol, different religion. That's why he knew all the Avodah Zarah. Otherwise, if you believe in one idol, why to worship 5,000 different idols? If Buddha is your God, you worship him. If JC is your God, you worship him. You don't worship Muhammad. Muhammad is your prophet. You worship his book. You don't worship Christianity. You cannot worship 15 different religions at the same time. You're full. Has to be one truth, even though you're wrong, but at least according to your understanding, one way is the truth. If a person switch every 2-3 weeks to a different religion, and now he became an expert in all religions, what does it tell you about him? That once he sees that this cult or religion is fake, right away he leaves it. And right away he go and search for another truth. Checking here, checking there. Remember, Torah was not given yet. He doesn't know the truth of Hashem. So Moshe knew somebody like him, I make him religious in 1 hour. And I can tell you he was 1,000,000% right. Whenever I see a person that is searching for the truth, he's asking questions, it bothers him, he gets angry when you say Mechalel Shabbat Mot Yumat. Gets angry, that shows that the truth hurts him. He wants to know what's the right way, and it bothers him. When he hears the truth, it bothers him. One time Rabbi Uri Zohar, who used to be a movie star, very famous movie star in Israel, then he became Baal Tshuva, and today he's already 35 years, something like that, a Rebbe already. He speaks for seminars, Lev Leachim, a very, very famous figure in the Orthodox world. He asked one of the Gdolim, maybe Rav Eliashiv, maybe Rav Steinman, somebody big, one of Gdolei Ador. He told him, listen, many people, I have conversation with many people. Sometimes I finish a lecture, 20 different people wants to speak to me. How would I know which one to give all my time, that I'm going to be able to make him religious that night? How do I know? I mean, all of them came to the lecture, and he speaks, she speaks. How do I know who to focus on? Give me an advice, who should I focus on? So you know what he said? He said, when you come to secular people, they do not know Hashem, they don't know the Torah. But you have to know if their matzpun, if their conscience is working. If it bothers them when they see an innocent person go to jail. If it bothers them when they see corrupted politicians. If it bothers them that they see that some minority people take advantage on them. It bothers them when they see racism. It bothers them when they see they take a bunch of food in a wedding or in the army, doesn't matter, in a public place, and they throw hundreds of pieces to the garbage instead of searching for some organization and give it to the poor people. When they see something like that and it bothers them, somebody like that, you can make him religious in one day. You don't need more than that. Why? Because his system working properly. You just have to feed the right instructions inside. System is functioning. Some people, their conscience is dead already. It needs a long time to revive it. But these people, when they see a twist of the truth according to their understanding, it kills them. They demonstrate, they lay down in abortion labs. Goyim! They give their life, they lay down, they commit suicide, they blow up the place. Why? Regardless of religion. They understand that an abortion is a murder, and they'll do everything they can to stop it. There was one priest in the Holocaust, when he realized where the trains are going, he tried to do everything to try to stop the Nazis. When he saw he can't, he joined one of the trains and went into the gas chambers with them. That was his demonstration. He said, if my religion caused people to do such thing to the chosen people, I don't want to leave. Got on a train, I forgot his name, he had some kind of a Spanish name, last name. He got on a train and he went and he got killed with them. Why? Because he saw that it cannot be the truth, cannot be. So, the deal was that Moshe did make Yitro religious, and Yitro came and praised Hashem, and Yitro left all his idol, all his honor, all his fame, all his followers. It's not easy. Many people ask me, what happened to that priest you debated? This Danny, they all know his name, Danny. What happened with him? Did he ever come back? To expect them to come back with answer, it's a little bit over-optimistic. They don't have answers, that's obvious. But the question is, how come he did not become religious? How come he didn't come to convert? Or whatever the case was. So I said, well, he teaches in a university over there in Manhattan, he has followers, a salary, people respect him. Do you know how hard it is to give it up? You know how many soccer players in Israel are dying to become religious, but they can't because their games is on Shabbat in a league? They're dying to become religious, but if they become religious, they lose their career, their attention, they're always on the news, they make money, they travel, they love the phony life. You have to be a real hero to come and say, you know what? Yes, I can make millions. Yes, I enjoy. Yes, I have attention. People bow down to me. People, everywhere I go, right away they treat me like a king because I'm a celebrity, whatever the case is. But it all has a very heavy cost in the end. This celebrity nonsense, you know how expensive it's going to be? The bill? When these celebrities get their bill, they'll hate every second that they got the attention and all the sins that they made. Now they have to pay for it. Right now they smile. What is it like? Someone who falls from the Empire State Building and another one who falls from the Empire State Building. One is screaming, crying, the other one is smoking a cigar. So they ask the one who smokes the cigar, why are you not screaming? He say, wow, beautiful, like a bird. I'm enjoying flying. So yeah, but you're heading to destruction. He said, but in the meantime, I'm enjoying the moment. That's what's important. Tomorrow I'll deal with that. You know how many times I heard this stupidity? When I'll get there, I'll deal with him. When you get there, you'll deal with him. When you get there, you'll be mute. You're not going to be able to make a beep. Even when you have a good answer, you won't be able to talk. What do you think? You know what is it? You know the fear from the judgment? Chazal brings an example from the brothers of Yosef, the Shvatim. When they realized this is Yosef, they couldn't make a beep. No words were coming out of their mouth. Ki nivhalu mipanav. Be'ala means a person is shaking from fear. And Yosef wasn't ashamed. Just that they found out that they were wrong, that they thought he deserved execution, and now he became the king of the world, and they're standing in front of him begging for food, right? So that's what we say in the Slichot. This part, nachpesa drachenu v'nachkora v'nashuva elecha. The fear that they had cannot be described in words. Imagine the fear that a sinner has for all his life, not for one sin, for all his life. Imagine a person that finds out that one lashon hara that he spoke about a person destroy him and his children and grandchildren for hundreds of years. One after the other, and he finds out. Imagine that. Imagine one move you made about somebody, and a partner who wanted to invest money by him in the end did not invest, and he went bankrupt, and he got a heart attack, and he died, and his children became orphans, and they went off the way. I just got a call from a Hasidish boy. His father went to jail because he did not want to tell about other Jews who made a crime. That was the story. So he went to jail for 4 years for not cooperating with the FBI or whatever the case was. Because it's not allowed for a Jew to tell about another Jew. So he took all the blame. Those 4 years have a price. This boy became Hashem Yerachem, like a goy. When the father went to jail, he was a religious boy. When he has no father in the house, started to walk in the neighborhood, in the street, he needed some attention. The criminals gave him attention. The rest is history. So now these criminals, the other criminals, if they come and confess and they saved him, this would not happen. Since they did not do it, the crime that they made, it's not only the money that they stole or whatever they did. Now they are guilty of this boy and his children and his grandchildren and grandchildren for eternity. Every one of them will be Mechalel Shabbat. It's their crime. They come and say, why? We didn't even think about this boy. What do we have to do with this boy? When they put his father in jail and you knew what's going to happen, you had to go and save it. Why? You're egoistic. You want to save yourself. You save yourself with your crime. Somebody supposedly innocent, he's now paying the price. You know, Rabbi Yaakov Kaminetsky was one of the biggest rabbis in America since the Jews arrived here. He passed about 20 years ago, something like that, maybe less. He was very, very important and famous rabbi. Many of the Ashkenazi rabbis that you meet today, they're all his students, the big ones. So he was known, besides his Torah skills, as a person who never said even one lie in his entire life. 96 years I think he lived, or 93 years, almost 100 years. He never made one lie in his entire life. Once I said the story about him, that when he was 20 years old in Russia somewhere, a woman served him fish. He was by their house for Friday night, and fish tasted horrible. You know, he just couldn't taste from it. So he spit it out, and the woman came from the kitchen. He said, "Oh, Yaakov, you don't like my fish?" I didn't want to insult her, so he said, "I don't eat fish." And after that, 75 years, he never touched a fish once in his life, because he didn't want that to be a lie. Once he said, "I don't touch fish," he never touched fish anymore. Never. All his life, a Jew without fish, he ate fish every Shabbat, he didn't touch fish. That's how honest this person was. So one time when he was in his 20s, he got married. And in the old days, it wasn't like today. You get in your car and you drive from town to town. It was trains and lots of walking. People walk for days. So he was walking with his wife towards the yeshiva. But they didn't make it. It started to snow. It was a snowstorm, so they decided we cannot make it Thursday like we wanted. We will have to make it tomorrow. We need a place to sleep. Let's look for a house with mezuzah here. So they found a nice big house with a mezuzah over there. They knock on the door, and a rich Jew, religious Jew, opened the door, and they say to him, listen, it's very cold and freezing and snow. Maybe you have a room for us so we can sleep. You see him with his wife, Talmid Yeshiva. It's not a criminal knock on your door. We just need a place to sleep, and tomorrow morning we'll continue to go. So I'm very sorry, I cannot let you in my house. So he said to him, no, we don't need to give us anything. Now, just give us anywhere to sleep, to protect our life. I'm very sorry, I cannot help you. After begging him, he said to him, okay, maybe outside there's like a roof. Maybe we can stay outside and hide under this roof. He was thinking, he said, okay, under the thing, but don't touch anything, just stay under the roof. So they stay freezing all night outside, but at least they had a cover that the rain and the snow would not fall on their heads. The next day they continued to walk to the yeshiva. They arrived to the yeshiva. Now they're doing Shabbat in the yeshiva. Shabbat morning, they see that the Gabbai of the yeshiva, which is also a shul, he gives the best aliyah. By the Ashkenazim, it's the aliyah shlishit. He gave him the best aliyah to this Rasha, to this person who didn't let them in. He went crazy. So not only he didn't let us in, they giving him the best aliyah. He comes to the Gabbai and he said, I'm very sorry, I have to protest. So what you do is against the Torah. This person doesn't deserve to get the most important. He's not a tzaddik. Well, what is he? It's chacham. He let a Jew freeze to death. So the Gabbai said to him, there is an explanation for it. Relax, come to me after the prayer and I'll explain to you. After the davening, he comes to him and he said to him, no, what can you explain? So he said to him, it was a bad timing for you and your wife. Just a few days before you went there, you should know this person was the #1 hospitality in this town. Every guest who came to town, automatically we sent to sleep by him. We have rooms for guests sleeping by him for years. Great, like hotel, for free. But the last visitor that he had, in the middle of the night, cleaned him out from all his money and jewelry. In the middle of the night, he picked up everything and ran away. So he made a neder that he's not going to let anybody, any stranger anymore into his house. He made a vow. That's why you came a few days later, he couldn't break his word. He couldn't let you in. So this is the story. So Rabbi Zion Abba Shaul, Zecher Tzadik Livracha, brought this story in one of his Musar talks in the yeshiva. And he said like this. He said, if Yaakov Kaminetsky wasn't a rabbi yet, was a newlywed, if him or his wife, if he will die that day from the freezing, it was a life risk, nobody would ever know what happened. The Jew died from freezing weather, no funeral, end of story. But the thief, who 2 or 3 days before stole the silver or whatever he stole, the money, he thought, I stole $10,000. When I come in front of Hashem, what's going to be? He told me you owe him 20. No, I'll deal with that. Or maybe he was planning to give back the 20 in his lifetime. So let me make some money with what I stole. Once I have money, one day I knock on his door, or I send a messenger, I owe you $10,000 from 15 years ago. Here is the money. And I'll be clean. I'll make tshuva, ve'eshiv takzela. Here, I keep mitzvah from the Torah to return the stolen item. That maybe was on his mind, this thief. After all, who wants to steal from a person who opens the door in his house and let him stay by him? It's not so common to happen. Even professional crooks and thieves, if you give them a bed to sleep and you give them food, it's hard for them to steal from you. They go to some stranger. Why should they steal from someone who benefits them? It happens, but very rarely. So Rabbi Zion Abba Shaul say, if Rav Yaakov Kanievsky would die that night, all the Torah of America, all the yeshivot, all the rabbis who teach Torah, who preach, who made so many people religious and they answer questions, everyone that came from him, and his son is also one of the Gedolei Ador today, of Shmuel Kamenetsky, and so many things, none of that would happen. Now the thief thinks, I stole $10,000. If he would die that night, the thief would be guilty for his death. Yes, it's an indirect death, so the Jewish court could not execute him, but we said, indirect death, you're not dismissed, the court cannot execute you, but chayav mita bidei shamayim. We forget the most important thing, that you're still guilty in the court of heaven. Chayav mita bidei shamayim. Someone who disrespects the rabbis, Rabbanan, he doesn't listen to mitzvot the Rabbanan. Ner Chanukah, not for me. Blessings, not for me. Kippah, it's only the Rabbanan, not for me. All the Rabbanan, it's not from Hashem. It's people, leave me alone. These fools do not understand that the Rabbanan is actually 1.5 times more important than what the Torah is. Why? First, the Torah says, everything they tell you, you must listen to them. Do not move left or right from their instructions. So that's an obligation from the Torah to listen to the rabbis. So by not listening to them, it's like eating pork. Same thing. Why? Torah say don't eat pork. Torah say must listen to them. Torah say put tefillin. Torah say listen to the chachamim. It's no difference. It's an instruction from Hashem. But not only that, it's the actual mitzvah that the Gemara says that someone who doesn't listen to chachamim chayav mita bidei shamayim. Or, even worse, if he makes fun at what they say. What is this? How can they say such thing? It's so stupid. It's so silly. No, you believe it? You believe this, you believe that. This kind of talk that we hear occasionally. They call nidon betzoar o tachat. Nidon betzoar o tachat. Those who understand Hebrew got the point. Those who don't, better you don't get the point. After Yitro made tshuva, Hashem actually added extra chapter. No, the Torah is the same Torah, but now he divided it, that one chapter of the Torah called after him, Parashat Yitro. Parashat Yitro. Then the parasha continues. Yitro comes to Moshe Rabbeinu after Moshe came down from the mountain after 120 days altogether. Yitro came. יתרו see משה, ויהי ממחרת היום, ויושב משה לשפוט את העם. ויהי ממחרת היום. What does it mean, ויהי ממחרת היום? After Moshe came down with the Torah, the oral Torah and everything, the next day he said to judge the nation. Can one judge the entire nation? Obviously it's not possible. So Yitro comes and say to him like this, listen good. Yitro says to him, שמע בקולי, יעצך ויהי אלוהים עמך. Choose, Yitro say to him, you cannot judge the entire nation. You have to choose judges. Judge people of the truth, people who search for the truth, people who hate bribe, gifts and stuff like that, not materialistic people who everything you can bribe them by giving them gifts, and put them in charge of the nation. ושפטו את העם. הדבר הגדול יביאו אליך, והדבר הקטון, כן, ישפוטו הם, והקל מעליך. Yitro, with the mind of a goy, all his life was a goy, he said to Moshe Rabbeinu, the big cases, make them bring to you. Small cases, let them judge. Two Jews fighting about $100. You're going to be bothered with this? You, Moshe Rabbeinu, speaking to Hashem? You have time to judge between two people and $100? They're fighting. He made me a hole in my sweater. You have to pay me. you didn't do this, you stole that. It's not for you. That's for ordinary local judges. Big cases, let them bring to you. Good advice or bad advice? Good? Did Moshe do what he said or no?
No.
Did Moshe nominate the judges?
Yeah.
He did. So it's a good advice or bad advice? If Moshe nominated judges, then means Yitro was right. Not exactly. Not exactly. Why not exactly? וישמע משה לכל חותנו. He heard to the advice of Yitro. ויבחר משה אנשי חיל מכל ישראל, he put them on charge. שרי אלפים, שרי מאות, etc. ושפטו את העם בכל עת. את הדבר הקשה יביאון אל משה, וכל הדבר הקטון ישפוטו הם. The hard cases they brought to Moshe, and the easy cases they took for themselves. Everything that Yitro said, Moshe did with one change. Who paid attention to the change? One tiny change that changed the entire court system in the world today. The source of the court system today in the world compared to the court system of the Torah is right here. Somebody asks you why by the Jews is like this and the rest of the world is like this. That's the source. No, who knows? Yitro said to Moshe, the big cases, you will judge. And the small cases, they will judge. But in the end, when Moshe designed the court system, the Batei Dinim of the Jewish nation, that's not the instruction he gave the judges. He said to the judges, hard cases, bring to me. Easy cases, take to you. Not big and small. Din pruta ke din mea. Doesn't matter the amount of money. $50, $10, $1 billion. The amount of money doesn't make a change in a court case. How difficult is the case? There are witnesses, no witnesses, the agreement, parties missing. There's all kinds of complication in a case that a normal beginner judge would not know how to handle such a heavy case. Why? Because it's like sometimes in business between companies, you know, they have thousands of provisions in their contract. According to the Torah, every tiny word changed the entire thing. I'll give you an example. If your friend comes to you and say, I want to open a restaurant, but I don't have the money. I'm a chef. I want you to invest the money. You open the restaurant, I'll work there, and we split 50-50. So you ask him how much you need. He'd say $300,000. That's the cost of the restaurant. So we say, okay, a good location, nice, and you're a good chef. Okay, I see I'm going to make good money here. You gave him $300,000. He goes on the way to put the money in a bank. Somebody robbed him and took the money without weapon. He came to him, gave him a punch on his head, stole his bag, ran away. $300,000 is gone. Does he have to pay you or no? He owe you the money or no? What do you think?
Yes.
He doesn't owe you the money. While he was holding the money, it's called Shomer Chinam. He was on the way to deposit the money for you. But if you gave him $1, when you gave him the 300,000, you wanted to protect your money from such case. So you gave him $1 in his hand. Too many interference here, it's hard. So you gave him $1. $1 you gave him. And now he got robbed. He has to pay you all the money. Why? By giving him $1, you say one word to him. הרי אני ממנה אותך שומר שכר. I'm paying you for guarding my money. It's different. If you ask your friend a favor, I want to put my diamond ring in your house while I'm going away. My house is not safe. People know I'm not home. So let me hide it by you. And you gave it to him. And somebody came and broke into his safe and stole your diamond. He doesn't owe you anything. It was locked? Yes. They made a hole on the wall. They knocked down the whole building. They stole it. What do you want from me? I did the best I could. So he doesn't have to pay you. But if you paid him for the 1 month he kept the diamond for you, you paid him any amount of money, $1, $10, $100, here, service fee for watching it for me, and they stole it from his house, he has to pay you. Why? When you pay someone to guard, like storage, they are responsible for all the damages that happens to your stuff. If they're doing it for you for free, you are responsible. So sometimes it's better to pay. So now I'm giving you just one example. Every word in a contract can affect billions of dollars. How you invested the money by me? Shomer Sachar or Shomer Chinam? Did you pay me for my service? Anything? What happened if you didn't give me money, but you gave me a free discount to a car wash? Is that considered that it made me a guard with money? Or that's a bonus, that's nothing to do? So many complicated cases. So it doesn't matter the amount, it can be $100 issue. But it's so complicated, the judge must say who owes who. He can't just go with his intuition. So Moshe Rabbeinu did not take the large cases like Yitro. By the Goyim, it doesn't matter how complicated is the case. It's how much money involved. Microsoft sue Google, and it's a $100 million case, they don't give it to a beginner judge. They don't. Why? It has to go to a very prestige judge, 30 years in business. But maybe it's such an easy case. They stole the rights, they violated the contract. It takes 5 minutes to know that they're right, and they have to pay them according to the contract. That's all. But sometimes it can be $1,000 case, and so complicated, they give it to the small claim court. The judge doesn't know where to start. See so many things, he doesn't know. Whatever, he doesn't want to ruin his reputation. He made some kind of a verdict. Most of the time will be a false verdict. By the Goyim, it goes by how much money, everything is bombastic from the outside. By us, it doesn't matter, $1, $1 billion, we're searching for the truth, not for the impressive results of the case. Oh, you know, it's a lot of money. All over the news. Why? Because it's a lot of money. That's the way it works. Then, Hashem say to us like this, maybe we'll finish with that. ואתה אם שמוע תשמעו בקולי. If you're going to listen to me, ושמרתם את בריתי, and you're going to keep my covenant, וייתם לי סגולה מכל העמים. Who knows what סגולה means? What's the word סגולה? עם סגולה. Huh? Sgula comes from the word mesugal. What's mesugal? Now it's depend according to who. If you ask according to Eliezer ben Yehuda, you know who's Eliezer ben Yehuda? Eliezer ben Yehuda was the one who revived the Hebrew language and invented a new language. Technically, Eliezer ben Yehuda messed up the entire Lashon HaKodesh on purpose. For a few years I didn't know if he did it on purpose or not, until a good book came to my hand, and he made a very solid case. He was anti-religion, he hated the rabbis, he had a newspaper he called Tzvi. Every day he wrote against the religion, the rabbis, more than 100 years ago. And obviously he wasn't keeping mitzvot. So he made the Hebrew language on purpose, the opposite of what Hashem said, to mess up the Torah and the mitzvot and the meaning of the Lashon HaKodesh. So if you ask according to the modern Hebrew, right, the word Sgula come from the word Mesugal, ability, a nation that has a special ability. I myself thought like that for years. But then I saw in the book that Sgula comes from the word, not ability, Yotze Dofen, exceptional. Exceptional is a different word. The Torah, when Hashem say Am Sgula, it meant an exceptional nation, which means only you I care about. Rest I care less. You v'item li Am Sgula. But the way he wrote it, the way he translated his word in this modern Hebrew, like everybody thinks today, Sgula comes from the word Mesugal. I can give you maybe it's not good to get into it. Maybe I'll make a whole lecture about it. It's hard also in Hebrew because most of you don't speak Hebrew. I'm going to start to explain to you the difference between one word according to the Torah and the way we speak today in Hebrew. Many of them is the opposite. Many of what we say today in Hebrew, it's the opposite of what Hashem meant in the Torah and in the Talmud. The opposite. Not only there is a different meaning. Different meaning, different meaning. It's really the opposite. Hashem said this is what it is, and he translated it the opposite. It's amazing. So basically, really, now you understand why some Haredim, some Satmar, they're very against speaking Hebrew. You can't speak Hebrew in their shul. They scream at you. Why? Because people who don't know the difference between Hebrew to the Torah, so they're thinking, why are they going so crazy? The Hebrew is based on the Torah. Just words that the Torah did not speak about, they took from English, from Spanish, from Russian, from Persian, from different languages, because there was missing words. If that would be the case, then you're right. So the only case was that wicked people invented the modern language. So that for them it's enough not to speak the language, because the one who made it, like the same thing a wicked person write a song. It's not good for your soul to listen to it. So since wicked people wrote the modern language, we won't talk that language one way or the other. But that's not only the case here. It's two problems. One is that very wicked anti-God people made this modern language. But the worst part is that the language is the opposite of the intention of God. It's kfirah mamash. So what are we going to do? We don't have another language. They have another language. They speak Yiddish. In the old days, the Jews in the Middle Eastern, all of them spoke Arabic. What do you think? In Baghdad, in Syria, all the Jews spoke Arabic. Nobody spoke Hebrew and as a daily language in business. They're all Arabic. Persian, Arabic, Turkish, everyone according to their nation, Russian.
So why would this guy change the Hebrew language if nobody spoke it basically 100 years ago?
No, because he wanted to make a national language. He was tired that in Israel, all the immigrants in every neighborhood speak a different language. Like you go to LA, one neighborhood English, one neighborhood Spanish, one neighborhood Arabic. Same thing in New York, different areas. In certain areas speaking Yiddish, English, Hebrew, Persian, this, that. So he wanted the land of the Jews to have one national language. And everyone didn't care about the national language. Everyone spoke his mother's language from where he came from. Some spoke Arabic, some spoke Ladino, which is a Spanish mixed with Portuguese, I think. It's different languages in Israel. So he wanted to make one language. So obviously, how are you going to convince half of the population that are religious people with beard and hats? How you will convince them to speak a language if you make up a new language? Not from the Torah, completely new. You want to invent a language, Israeli language. Like they invented English, like they invented Turkish. Some people sat and made up words. So if you want to reinvent a language, first of all, the job is 100 times harder, because you have to start from zero. And second, anyway, they won't accept the language. Why do we need this new language now? We have our own language. The only way to convince them is to say, I'm not making a new language, I'm reviving the language of God. You understand? I'm reviving it. It was in the archives. I'm taking it out, clean the dust, modify it, adding some modern words like elevators, things that we didn't have in his time, but this is what we do today. The academy, they add words all the time. You know, now when they have something new, they invented a new device. So they want to know how to call it in Hebrew, like CD. The old big records, when I was a kid, there was no CDs, there was big records. So it used to call taklitim. Taklit, it's an Hebrew word, come from the word haklata, recording. Now when they invented CDs, most Israeli call it CD. Disc, they call it disc in Israel. But disc is an American language, it's in English. So they wanted to invent a word for it in Hebrew. So they decided how we're going to call it. I don't know what name they came up with, some kind of, not taklit, taklitor. Taklitor means a CD in Hebrew, if I'm not mistaken. But almost nobody used this word. Only some teachers and this. No, everyone call it discs. So how did they accept the word? Hundreds of people wrote their suggestion. And then they have a committee and they vote which one of the words. And the word that got the most votes in the academy, the Hebrew Academy, it becomes a part of the vocabulary of the language. That's it. So that's a man-made words. People inventing these words. But in the Torah, it's a different story because the words indicate about the nature of the transaction. You know, for instance, Adam, Adama. Why his name is Adam? Because he came from Adama. It's no coincidence that his name is Adam. It means a lot that the person has to remember that is nothing better than the dust. Like Moshe Rabbeinu say, "V'nachnu ma," or David HaMelech say, "I'm a worm." And you know, so Avraham Avinu say, "V'anochi afar va'efer." Someone who compare himself to dust, that means his ego doesn't work. He doesn't have pride. You understand? So it says like this: if you're going to keep my mitzvot and you keep my covenant and you listen to me, v'item li sgula, and you're going to be a special nation for me from all the nations, ki li kol haaretz, because I am the master of the land. Nobody tells me what to do. I own the world. This is my territory. I allow you to live here or here. I decide if you live here or you're not going to live. But it's depend on your actions. And v'atem tiyu li mamlechet kohanim. You become a kingdom of Kohens. Kohen means, what's the word Kohen means? Who knows? Who is a Kohen here? Who is a Kohen? Huh? No, אתה כהן. Your name is Cohen. Do you know what the meaning of the word Cohen means? What Cohen means? What's goldsmith? Goldsmith. What goldsmith means? Someone who used to work in gold. What Tischler means? Carpenter. Every word. What's Abdallah means? Moshe Abdallah from Iraq. Abdallah, Eved Hashem. It's Ovadia. Ovadia in Arabic, it's Abdallah. You understand? So the words have meanings. It's not just names. But I'm asking you what Kohen means. Kohen means Mesharet Bakodesh. A servant of a religion. Which religion? Any religion. Vayishma Yitro Kohen Midyan. The master of the idol of Minyan, Yitro, the Torah called him Kohen. Right? Malkitzedek Kohen Le'el Elyon. Malkitzedek is a Kohen to who? To the one God. Who is Malkitzedek? Who was Malkitzedek? Shem. Who was his daughter? Tamar. Every girl that she's a daughter of a Kohen, she has to do everything she can to marry a boy that is a Talmid Chacham, that is very knowledgeable in Torah. And if not, en zivugam ole yafe. The match doesn't succeed. Why? A regular girl, you want to be married to Am Haaretz, to an ignorant Jew who doesn't know Torah. It's very foolish of you. But it doesn't mean that you cannot have a marriage. You can have a marriage. But if you're daughter of a Kohen, you're embarrassing the most important family in the Jewish history. That's like the royal family. Family of Moshe and Aaron and Miriam, the most important figures in the Torah. That's a different story, my friend. Even 3,000 years later. You are not a princess, cannot just marry a shoeshine in a subway. Even if he's a good person. Even if he's a fantastic, humble human being. You know, I always like to tell this story. Rabbi Akiva Iger went to visit his son, Rav Shlomo Iger, in yeshiva. He was learning by Kotsk. So the Rebbe from Kotsk was the Rosh Yeshiva. So, you know, it was 150 years ago, there's no trains, no nothing. After a long ride that he got to the yeshiva, he came into the yeshiva, he saw everyone is around one table. One guy sitting and everyone is around him. So he right away thought that's probably the brightest kid in this yeshiva. Teenagers. Probably the smartest guy here, the biggest Talmid Chacham. So he came to his son, he said, what's special about this boy? Is he a Talmid Chacham? He said, nothing more than the ordinary. So he said, is he rich? He said, nothing special. So he said, is he meyuchas? He come from an important family, Kohen, something, an important family in town. His father maybe is a big rabbi. He said, no. So he said, so why everyone is around him? What's his secret? So he said, his son said, he's a humbled boy. He's down to earth. So Rabbi Akiva Iger smiled. He said, I don't understand. He has no skills. What does he want to brag about? It's not a genius, not rich, not handsome, not from an important family. What does he have to brag about? Every donkey or monkey would come and brag about what they have nothing to offer. If you have a skill, we understand. But then later when he left, the Rosh Yeshiva came and they said this biggest Talmid Chacham in the world came here. And that's what he said. So the Rebbe from Kotsk said, with all the respect to him, I disagree. Why? Logically he's right. Logically. But the way logic requires to behave and the way people behave in reality, it's two total opposites. The more poor the people are, the more they brag about. The more they have the needs to brag about, to cover from something that they're insecure about. I'll give you a few examples. A person that he's a giant in Torah, when he comes to a place that nobody knows him, he is trying to show himself, or he's prefer to sit in a corner quietly that nobody bothers him. Even people argue about Torah, yes, allowed, not allowed. The biggest rabbi in the world can sit next to you, like he was Rabbi Zion Abba Shaul. They're arguing for 2 hours in yeshiva and he doesn't push his nose into their questions, nothing. Why? Down to earth. Someone who has no knowledge, he has maybe few words of Torah that he can say, he makes so much noise to cover from really people finding out that he doesn't really know anything. So he makes a lot of noise. A woman that is very pretty, she doesn't put tons of makeup and all kinds of flashy things. She doesn't need it. She's confident that she's okay with simple clothing and a little bit makeup and it's enough. The ones who are not, tons of plastic surgeries, tons of colors, tons of sprays. You cannot stand in a room over there. That's what's happening. Like a pharmacy walking around in the street. You know why? Insecurity makes a person do something to cover it. You understand? And there's many examples in life that we can do. Many examples like this. We're going to read the 10 Commandments on the Parashat Yitro. Some of you will be in a Ashkenazi shuls that they rise. When they read it, they rise. And the Sephardi shul, nobody rise. People continue to sit. Why? The Ashkenazim said, since the 10 Commandments were given on a board of stones, that means it's the highlight of the Torah. Not that it's more important. All the Torah is important. But Hashem highlighted it in a board. He didn't take other things and put it on a board. Those are the 10 that he puts on a board. So we are rising for that fact. As far as him saying, by rising, is putting down the rest of the Torah. And everybody knows that every letter in the Torah is equally important. You cannot say one word in the Torah is less important than the other. The entire Torah is one unit. You cannot say, oh, this verse in the Torah is more important than this verse. Like for instance, I was in Phoenix on Shabbat, and there was Aliyat Revi'i, the fourth Aliyah. Az Yashir Moshe. So now the Gabbai, as a good businessman, he comes and he say, Aliyat Revi'i. No, and he right away say, Az Yashir Moshe. אז not everyone do שניים מקרא אחד תרגום. It's not a yeshiva over there. So he wanted to wake them up. Oh, this is now the song of Moshe Rabbeinu, the Exodus of Egypt. Right away, it was sold 10 times more than an average aliyah. And then when he came to Parashat Shishi, he said, Parashat Aman, the secret of the Parnasah, the man, again was sold 10 times more. If the Gabbai would not say, it would sell regular. But that's a big mistake. Because the people who think that Az Yashir Moshe it's a more important aliyah than the aliyah before, or the two aliyot before, it's a big mistake. No justification to pay more for this aliyah than another aliyah. Why? It's all the same equal Torah. And there's no difference. If you ever want to know about the importance of the aliyot, if you already decide to buy aliyot, you have to think a million times if it's a good idea to buy aliyot or not. That's besides the point. But if you already wants to buy an aliyah, if there's no Kohen in a shul, so the first aliyah is the most important aliyah. If there's no Kohen. But if they give the first aliyah to a Kohen, according to Sfaradim, which goes by Kabbalah, by the Zohar, the sixth aliyah is the most important. That's why in places that people know Torah, it's always the most expensive aliyah. If it's by the Ashkenazim, the third aliyah is the most important, because they ignore the information in the Zohar when it comes to this, and they go by the Pshat, which means Kohen and Levi, it's mandatory. So which one is the first aliyah that a Jew can buy? Aliyah Shlishi. So that's the most important aliyah. Zrizim makdimim lamitzvot. I don't want to wait for the next opportunity. That's the first opportunity to go up to the Torah. For that, we're going to fight. But according to the Kabbalah, it goes Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov, Moshe, Aaron, Yosef, and David. It's Sfirot. Sheva Sfirot. Shishi, it's Yesod, Yosef. It's the most important one. Also, if somebody wants to buy aliyah for Ilui Neshama, his father passed away or someone, he wants to, to say. So many people buy aliyat mashlim because it has a kaddish. And they don't buy maftir because maftir doesn't have kaddish unless if it's Yom Tov that they take out 2 Sifrei Torah. In a regular Shabbat, maftir doesn't have kaddish. But the truth is, maftir is a better service for the deceased person. Maftir, it's good for aliyat neshama. If a person doesn't need aliyat neshama, maftir is the less important aliyah from all the aliyot. It's only important for someone who wants to do for his father or mother who passed away, or brother or son or whatever, a relative. So he wants to do for the aliyah, for the elevation of their soul, then it's good to buy haftara. But if he doesn't need, Baruch Hashem, that's the last aliyah you want to buy. And sometimes people don't know it. They see it sell for expensive price because there's a lot of orphans that wants to do aliyat neshama. So it goes very high, and they go and they buy it, and in the end, it's from all the aliyot is the less important aliyah. So I always say ignorance costs money. You pay every aliyah was 40, 50, maftir 280. And he said, oh, if everyone wants it, let me also go. And in the end, he bought for $300, and he could have got a better aliyah for 40, just to give you an example. So now you know that. Any questions so far?
Any question?
One question.
Maybe before Mamash we finish 1 or 2 more minutes, I just want to highlight something over here. When Hashem said to Moshe, go and take my nation out of Egypt, he refused. He didn't want to go. He gave all kinds of excuses. After 1 week, Hashem convinced him to go. One of the things Moshe said, anyway, nobody would believe me. What, just because I come out of nowhere and claim God spoke to me, they'll believe in me? I'll tell them I spoke to you from the bush. You spoke to me from the bush, and the bush wasn't burning, and I took my shoes off. What are they going to think? It's crazy. Mamash, call the psychiatrist right away. If somebody come today and say such story, what would happen? Right away they call, hey, there's somebody he needs to be close in Jamaica Avenue. There's a hospital over there with jails, for people who have mental issues. Take him over there. So Moshe had a point. After all, Hashem is sending you on a mission. You cannot come and say to Hashem, they won't believe in me. You have to say, yes, sir, finish. Whatever happened, it's not in my hand. You told me go from here to here. I go. Jump, I jump. Scream, I scream. Go to sleep, I go to sleep. What do I care what's going to happen? Moshe have an argument. Moshe said, they won't believe in me anyway. So what's the point of going? And Hashem did not get angry at him. Other arguments that Moshe made, some of them he paid a heavy price. Why? When he said to Hashem, Lama areota la'am hazeh? Why did you make the situation worse to this nation? From the minute you send me, the situation becoming worse. That cost him, and Hashem said to him, you only will see the salvation and the destruction of Paro, but the destruction of the 7 kings who sits in Israel, when I kick them out of the land, this you will not see. One sentence cost him that price. But over here, Hashem did not get angry at him. How can it be? How can it be? If Hashem come and say, go to this town and speak to the people over there, tell them I sent you, and this and this and this is going to happen. Now I'm already thinking to myself, they think I'm crazy. They throw tomatoes at my head. But I'll be more than happy to go and receive those tomatoes on my forehead. Why? Because Hashem sent me, I'm proud. I am fulfilling Hashem's mission. So what do I care if they believe in me or not? They throw things at me. Okay, I'll stand like this. I'll get embarrassed. But I know I'll be the happiest person on earth. I'm fulfilling the instruction of the Creator of the world. So what do I care what they say? They curse me. They make fun at me. Whatever they want. Whatever. I know Hashem sent me. That's it. That's what's important. But Hashem not only did not get angry at him, actually Hashem agreed with his question. Why do you have this dialogue in the Torah? Do you know? It's very important. You know why it's very important? This over here, we find out that all the religions who came after Judaism to the world are all fake. That's why Hashem put this conversation in the Torah. Otherwise, who cares that Moshe said they won't believe in me? It's not important in Torah. In the end, he went. In the end, he took them out of Egypt. In the end, he gave them the Torah. Get to the point. Who cares? Yeah, believe me, don't believe me. In the end, they did. Hashem wanted us today, not to be fooled by all these missionaries and all the rest of the hunters who try to hunt souls to their phony religions. And also to open the eyes of the Goyim, not to be like sheep who follow the shepherds to destruction. Why? Because Hashem said to Moshe, Vayomer Hashem el Moshe. That's the answer. Hashem said to Moshe, I will come to you in a cloud for the nation to hear me speaking to you. וגם בך יאמינו לעולם. And after that, they'll believe in you for eternity. So what's the answer of Hashem? When Moshe say they won't believe me, Hashem say basically, you're right. Why should they believe you? If they'll believe you, they're stupid. Somebody come from the desert and say, God spoke to me and he told me ABC. And he doesn't have anything to back his story up. No backup for his story. No witnesses, nobody, no way to prove. Only a stupid person would follow him. Only a stupid person. Somebody smart will never follow this person one step. Unless if he bring 500 witnesses. Oh, that's a different story. 500 witnesses come, we saw God speaking to him. Oh, now I have to consider. But before that, what's to even waste a minute on him? So Hashem said to him, you know when they'll believe in you? After I'll put you in a mountain and I will speak to you and everybody hear that I'm speaking to you. You speak, I speak. After that, not going to be any questions. They'll believe in you for eternity. That's, by the way, the answer to all these fools who come and say JC came from there, Muhammad came from the desert, Buddha came and he saw the light. All these stories are not reliable. You cannot count on one detail in those stories. Nobody ever saw JC in reality. Nobody. Muhammad was a total ignorant who didn't know how to read and write. The story of Muhammad, right, do I have so many different versions in his lifetime? His own wives have different books that supposedly he got. Each one has a different version. It's very foolish to waste a minute on it. And Buddha, he saw the light. Big deal, you saw the light. No, so what? You saw the light. 600 million people have to follow this thing to see the light, to do yoga, to do all these things. What do you need it for? What's in it? What way of life in it? Where does it say to you what's right, what's wrong? To do meditation? Meditation you can do in the Torah also before. Torah is 900 years before Buddhism. Yitzchak did meditation. ויצא יצחק לסוח בשדה. He went to the field to speak to Hashem. He went to the field and spoke to Hashem. Isolated himself from the noise, from the people, and was talking to Hashem. So today it's not in a field, it's in your car. You drive, you're stuck in traffic anyway all the time. So you sit and you talk to Hashem. Dear God, help me here, help me there, help me that, my son, my daughter, my wife. Everyone with his request. Help me to become better, help me to see the truth, help me in my parnasah, help me this, show me the way, show me to take the job, not to take the job, why I'm not getting parnasah, why I cannot find a job, what am I doing wrong? A person, the more he talks to Hashem, the more Hashem will show him. But if a person is cold as ice, like a rock, not one word of request coming from him. And finally, when he talks to Hashem, is once a year in Yom Kippur, and also dry like the desert. Very dry, no tears, no heart, nothing is waking up. Three days they could not touch their wives. 3 days, no intimate relation. Why? Before Matan Torah. What's the problem? You can go an hour before Matan Torah, make mitzvat prubu with your wife, run to the mikveh, from the mikveh come to Har Sinai, like people do before shul. What's the problem? Person was with his wife, and now he has to go in the morning. So he goes to the mikveh, he purifies his body, and he goes to the shul, and it's perfectly fine. Takanat Ezra, it's even more than the requirements. Technically, a normal shower, it's enough. But he went to a mikveh, natural water. Why? He wants to go like according to Ezra Sofer that made a decree that people before they pray, they have to be pure. But there won't be any seeds on their body. So why not here? The answer is because when a person is with his wife, the seed still can come out 3 days after. 3 days. After that, it loses value. Every material in nature becomes rotten after a while. Also over here, first 3 days it makes the person impure. While it's coming out, it impures the body. To receive Torah from Hashem, you have to be spiritually pure. But after 3 days, it doesn't affect anymore. It doesn't make you not pure. That's the reason why. And also the clothes. The clothes, they wash the clothes. Baby, the clothes have things that makes it impure. You know, today, I'm thinking to myself, if we have Bet HaMikdash, and we all move to Israel, if we will have to live according to the rules when Bet HaMikdash exists, in my opinion, 95% of us would jump from the Empire State Building in a week. Right? You know how hard life will be? For us who grew up like this, free, we do whatever we want, we walk whatever we want. When the Bet HaMikdash exists, you cannot sit on chairs. Maybe a woman sat there and she's nida. Life will be completely different. If you're Kohen, you have to think a million times where to go. They have to make special paths for you. You cannot go maybe the cemetery under the highway. You cannot, it's horrible the way things is going. I mean, now, especially now when the world is not designed for holy life like that, it's going to be such, so, tum'ah and ta'ara, food you want to eat. A woman nida touched it, it's impure. Someone who touched a dead body or was in a cemetery, now he passed impurity. impurity from animals, dead animals, shmona shratzim. There's so many things. Purity. Pure and not pure. You know how many years you have to learn to know all these laws? The first one who make pure, the second one who got contaminated, he's a little bit weaker, how he passed the impurity. Is Avi Avot HaTumah, Av HaTumah, Rishon LaTumah. You know how difficult? Almost nobody knows it today. 1% of the Jewish nation is aware of what to do, not to do. Chafetz Chaim, 100 years ago, used to teach his Talmidim how to live according to all the laws of Bet HaMikdash. Why? If Bet HaMikdash will be built, at least some people would know what to do, how to do. It's very hard. Because most people don't learn it today. They say it's not relevant. Why to take 3-4 years of my life to learn it? It's not relevant. Maybe because of that the Mashiach doesn't come. Because everyone say not relevant, not relevant. Mashiach say I come, nobody knows anything. 1 out of 100 Jews would know what to do. What's going to be with all the others? Not to talk about all the sacrifices, all the laws, how to slaughter, where to slaughter, what to take, how to, masrot, the שלושה רגלים. Wow. Okay, I'm going to give you one question and something to think about until the next time we meet. When Bet HaMikdash will be built, are we still going to have Korban Chatat? For those of you who do not know what Korban Chatat means, every time a Jew makes a sin of one of the 36 restrictions in the Torah, that the Torah said that if a Jew make that sin on purpose, Hashem is cutting his soul out of the Jewish nation, out of Olam Haba, out of the afterlife. One of them is Mechalel Shabbat, Avodah Zarah, eating chelev of the behemah, eating on Yom Kippur, eating chametz on Pesach. There's a list of 36 kretot, Surei Karet. If a person made that sin unintentionally, he forgot that it's Shabbat, or in the middle of the night his cell phone started to ring while he's snoring, he puts it off. Then in the morning, you see, wow, the cell phone was on my bed. He just remembered I shut it off. But he wasn't aware. It was 2 o'clock at night. It was in the middle of his sleep. He didn't know it's Shabbat. So obviously, he wasn't a sinner on purpose, but he made an unintentional sin. If Bet HaMikdash exists in the old days for sin like that, or any sin that is a violation of Shabbat, he has to take a goat to Bet HaMikdash and sacrifice it as a not intentional sin that he made, that he was subject to Isur Karet if it was intentional. If he did it intentionally, no Karet can help him. Even 1,000 goats he will bring, it won't help him. Only execution. If he Mechalel Shabbat on purpose, he got a warning, and then he got caught with the same exact sin, only execution can be his tshuva. Make tshuva and they execute him by stoning. But there's no other way. There's no, I cannot come and say, okay, let me give you $1 billion donation to the yeshivot, and I'm going to make tshuva. I'll sit in yeshiva for the rest of my life. Don't kill me. Very good deal, no? He will be in yeshiva all his life. He gave us $1 billion for all the yeshivot. He made tshuva. For sure he will never dare to be Mechalel Shabbat. What's the point of killing him? What's the point? It's very foolish. So the answer is, we do not go against Hashem. That's it. We cannot go against Hashem. Hashem say, that's what you do, that's what you do. So you ask me, where is the logic of Hashem? Hashem say, if somebody that deserve execution offering redemption, let me pay. Give you money. Don't kill me. Here is $1 million. Leave me alone. Take my house instead. Why Hashem didn't agree? It's very good for the Jewish nation. If you have money, you give us $10 million and we leave you alone with supervision that you won't be Mechalel Shabbat again. And your $10 million will go to the orphans, to the widows, to the yeshivot. So we benefit. What's the point of killing you? So why Hashem didn't agree? Because if it was possible, people would make sin on purpose, knowing if one day I'll get caught, anyway I won't die. I can buy my life back. You understand? That's why. Otherwise, if it wouldn't be the nature of people, maybe Hashem would agree to take the money, because we find in other places in the Torah that someone who loses all his money is instead of execution. So the question is, when the third Bet HaMikdash will be built, do you still will have to bring sacrifices for sins or no?
No.
You already have an answer so quick? Huh?
There's no sins no more.
Oh, that's the question. So we're going to have sins? We're going to have Yetzer Hara? We're going to continue to make sins? The answer on the next lecture, Bezrat Hashem. Baruch Adonai Olam, Amen ve'Amen.